interesting week ahead of us, as far as I'm concerned. Looking at our weekly candle closes, want to kind of reflect on something that I talked about uh, going into the beginning of last week, I think it was. And I talked about cues, right? We did look at a 635 target. Obviously, that didn't play out, but that range, similar to how we played out over here, is still at play. In terms of any weekly loss, gain of anything structural, we've got nothing. As far as the 24 hour is concerned, there is some serious. I mean, you, there's a lot to a lot to digest here. This is where we broke out of, right, multiple times. This is what is currently obviously holding us back, right? You could even look at the green candle close over here. That's exactly what we wicked off of. And this could, obviously, with the empty space above us, set up an opportunity still to punch back. Now, one thing that we've done that kind of gives us a little bit of an inconclusive close, at least as of right now, we'll see how this plays out, is that we have rather wicked up and tried. Nothing really happened upon that reversal. And of course, with today's expenditure volume, naturally, it would be like price action to try to build. So I think that's really the biggest question, going into next week is, we're sitting at a level that we would consider to be potentially short. We definitely do not have strong price action underneath us all the way down to the 607, which could still be counted as a potential support. Now, notice this over here, any wide fluctuation in price typically catches my eye. And so with that being said, if we get a rejection, and what this tells me is, I'm sure some of you guys are going to speculate. Hopefully you can afford to do that. But 618.30 is what has to be reclaimed. And in order to go and punch back and make that new high or meet that previous high, we have 624.44. So I don't see the rush, right? Um, Stop losses probably need to be around that 612 mark, obviously, because if this was to fall, it would be right around 607 that I'd be looking for a potential bounce. Now, there's a range here, and so you have 604.44. Am I speaking? Yeah, I'm speaking. Okay. But anyway, so that's up to you, right? With the cues, I think it's patience. We've got quad witching next week, which again, I don't mean to put so much weight on it, but it's just something that we have to be aware of. I've seen too many weeks that go like that. It starts off a little volatile and then dies off. So it's just good to be prepared. But again, we'll stick to the charts and take trades with good stop losses if the opportunity potentially or sets itself up. Now, and again, we'll look at that as we get to the close. Lower time frame is not supporting any direction either, as you are stuck in between both of those, right? Where you need to reclaim on the 15 and where you need to break down. So again, you're free to speculate, but that's what I see. SPY. We'll look at this on the weekly as well. SPY is red at the top. Now, I think this one could be worth speculation. Is if you're a range trader or somebody who understands how range works, you could be looking, and it is dangerous always to be shorting up at the top, but you could be looking at trading this down to 620, 275. But because it's through structure, you probably need to grab something a little bit longer expiration. Now, in the same breath, right? SPY hasn't quite, and I'm actually thinking that this is possible into next week, but 675, which is where I was expecting to see a pullback to, right? And we didn't get that. We did end up bouncing right here. But of course, as we get into the 24-hour candle close, we have or are losing something. Now it's not easily identifiable, but we're also back underneath 685, or 686, which that's something that, yeah, might be worth a speculative setup Now again, we're going to watch this as it goes into the close. Hold on 1 second. It scared the fuck out of me. Let somebody get these up there fucking stomping their feet. Scared the tits off me. All right. Now, as I was saying, as you get to the 4 hour, right, you can see that this afternoon or this afternoon, we did bounce and we are sitting right up against this old structure that we again punched down through. As we go into the close, it looks like price is trying its hardest to grab hold of said floor. So before that downside happens, right, and going into the close, we have plenty of time. It could be something retracing back to 687. And what that would look like on the 24-hour is just another candle. Because if this pulls itself up, you would just see a green candle here. So, well, again, last 10 minutes of the day, we can look how price is settling and go from there. IWM, which was pretty fucking exciting today, did end up hitting that bottom floor here. And that's really all I had to offer, right? But it did lower time frame, kind of give us a punch down. On the weekly, it's just a big green candle, or a very wicky green candle, but it is in all-time highs. And so on the weekly, I really have nothing but the previous structure that we broke out of, right? On the 24-hour, that's what we would be liable to potentially test going into Monday, which is not far away, and it is 252.84. So again, it's up to you. On the 4-hour, this has tried, and as of right now, is still held underneath the same collar, same resistance that you had before. So naturally, if it doesn't have enough to get up above their 255.50 here, then it's going to come back here. And I think that is where you could that is where I will definitely look at going out at a long. But patience, you know what I mean? Like, we see too many things set up perfectly for us to just try to keep pulling the trigger on shit that doesn't make sense. Or so again, close your eyes and visualize what the punchback looks like. Go to the Discord and scroll down to the gains play setup and go look at what you're looking at and see whether or not it's worth your time. So again, as we get into the close, we can get a better idea. IWM right now showing a lot of slow price action. In fact, yeah, looks like this bottom floor range right there, that's what you're sitting on. You still have the ability to create an uptrend. XYZ just fired an alert off. News or something? Just took off. See 65.25. I will deal with it after the live. But I'm telling you, there are people who literally are faking as if they are from one of these war-torn countries to scam people out of their money. I've already caught 2 people so far doing it. Not inside of the Discord, just in my lives, trying to ask me to give them money because they don't have something. And again, I don't mean to be that way, but I want to make sure it's going to the right place. So I will definitely talk to you after stream. You can shoot me a DM. I mean, that's kind of crazy. If they are in Palestine, there's probably not a way for them to trade, my bro. All right. Now, this is important. So let's nice. Let's go ahead and go over gold, and then if you guys would like to drop your requests, let's see if we can't build a watch list. Now, as of right now, gold came back and retested, went up, tapped its 400, and is just sitting here, right? And on previous sessions, when we see price kind of doji out like that, you're either subject to sideways action, right? Which you've done before. Um, but as I move to the lower time frame, you'll notice that there's empty space, which could support that idea. Now, what is really happening is you're trying to reclaim that open, and if that occurs, it's 397.88. So there might not be an immediate play here, but definitely one potentially going into next week. So, all right, go ahead and oh, what, fam? You look geeked today. I do. I am not geeked. Normal. This is how I was born. I could show you guys a picture of me in middle school, and I did not even know what it was. And I look like I definitely knew what it was. I've got motion. Exactly. It's just steering in the direction of looking like I'm stoned. Nobody does that. All right. Yeah, go ahead and drop your request. Anything that you're looking at going into the weekend. Let's take a look at Tesla. Range, unfortunately, is really all I can call for. And at this point, that's all you're focused on. And it's a catalyst. Who the fuck? I mean, if you're long and you got a good expiration, awesome. You're probably in a great position. If you're short, you're a madman. But I mean, I can understand that, but not really actually. Not unless we actually lost our 443 floor, and then you do have a little bit of underneath you. But man, I tell you what, it looks like it's propped up to rip, but it's missing the catalyst that would make it go. So, yeah, for next week, also we do have the a couple of earnings. Nothing here, nothing really there. Linworth I've seen before. Micron, Nike, FedEx, BlackBerry. So really not a CCL is also next week. So not a lot as far as earnings goes. So we really can't expect that to do anything to the market. Amazon just kind of stuck. You could say that. I also can see where you're attempting, at least on this 24-hour, to hold that floor, and on the 4-hour you're retesting it. So I mean, this could be momentary, or yes, lead to a potential reversal back up into that empty space. And if so, I mean, honestly, set your alerts, because even if this trade didn't work out first, 227.30 is worth setting an alert on, because over 231, 230, there's definitely a room to the upside there. So on the 24-hour, it's a little ugly, but it is sideways and it is in range, which makes sense. Why does Tesla go up and go up so fast and then crash down? You could, yeah. I mean, there's, you know, it's extremely heavily traded. At some point, probably one of the most traded stocks in the world. So with that, you're gonna see why. I mean, yeah, you're gonna see wild rips. You're gonna see wild dips, because you got more people, more volume, more money to play with. So you're going to get wider, less money, less trading volume, less whippy, right? That's just true for everybody. So yeah. Rivian, empty space down. You could definitely consider it. I told people earlier that it might be a good idea to do just that. And I think looking at the 24-hour, it just doesn't necessarily support any sort of pullback quite yet. The weekly looks pretty good. I mean, again, just could be just the start. Still aiming for the gap up above, but at this point, right, with any sort of downside, it's going to be measured out here on a higher time frame, right? And right now you still have. I don't like going short before a retest, right? I want to see that that retest fails. 1830. Let's see, 1 hour. Looks like 1830, 1829, and 30 minute. You're getting pretty close with 1842. So I mean, honestly, for a pullback, it's not doing that bad. But yes, if you're looking at a downside move, I personally would be looking at the imbalance 50% at 815 and back a full reversal would also be in the cards. And I know I'm long on it, so you're like, what the fuck? But it's just it is what it is. If this fails to go up and continue to go up, it probably is going to go down, just as it has many times.
Yes, sir.
Um, Netflix. I mean, so today was not surprising. Did not have the follow through. It did hit cost basis, and looking at this, this is how I figured out that cost basis exist. Literally, like it was looking at boxes and looking at the 50% mark and with volume profile, but you'll see stop dead in your tracks. One of the most important things is that you hold. You're trying to do that. Um, so I mean, I can't call for it in a bearish manner. You also have a box directly underneath you, and you're holding that 94 for 40. So again, you're in between two signals. I love Netflix basically over today's high and into that empty space up above when that time comes. So Rivian moved a little differently this time. It's really pretty consistent ways. Yeah, this time feels different, but I'm trying to behave more like a robot in on this one. Like I just get there. You know what I mean? And like, of course, the weekly supports that. The 24 hours looking decent, but we still have some things to break. But any meme coin traders, uh, be careful who you send money to, guys. I know there's people in there saying they're from Palestine, but I have caught people, and I know it sucks to like have to ask somebody for proof. But that's unfortunately how low some people will go to scrape a dollar out of you. So just be careful. I've helped quite a few people, but I always ask, write my name down on a piece of paper and hold it up in front of you, something like that. Now with AI,
No.
shit's fucking. Or if they're live or something like that, that's most of the people that I donate to, or the people who are live, or they got some sort of uh collective going, or if I donate to them, they're helping the people that are around them. So uh Nvidia, man, dude, this thing is oof, man, I stuff myself in a washing machine, dude, because you're gonna get tumbled the same way. Now I will say in this example, you are not responding to the floor this time, right? You responded there. There's still more to break. So I would say right now you're looking towards the 173 levels, and highly likely that 170 is going to be next. But you're closing where you've reversed before. You're closing red, and that comes after a pretty nasty retest. And as you get to the close of the day, so personally, I say 173.40 first. How you get there obviously could determine whether or not you continue moving down. Who? People stealing? Scammers? Yeah, dude, they'll lie about anything. People in Palestine, not I don't never been there, so but BA Is it the only thing that I see that's a variable here is the way that you've gone up. Obviously, on the 24-hour, not bad, right? You're holding what you're supposed to hold. Um, I guess the only thing here is, if you could have a red candle in here, and that's BA's typical shit, right? 4-hour. I don't know, man. You know what? You really don't have much of an overhead. So I think as long as you have a great stop loss, I think you're in a decent position to make this happen. So it looks good. What kind of daily return should I expect? Day trading, percentage, or annual? What kind of daily return should I expect day trading or percentage? That's funny. I mean, that question right there, man, is impossible to answer. You could suck at trading. You could suck really bad and never make anything, or you could do really, really well. Day trading is incredibly hard. I struggle sometimes with it. Um, Most of my losses come from day trading, when I have them. Uh, Most of the people I know that take gnarly losses do it day trading. So, I mean, that's a hurdle. You have to learn, have a good strategy, know what you're looking for, um, have a great emotional discipline. And then from there, who knows what you average. Manny on day trades, and it could be 50, 60%, and he's done. Um, but, it also depends on how much money you put into the trade, or how much you have in your account. So, um, if you guys are on TikTok, this is all free, by the way, if you don't mind tapping your screen. Yeah, I mean, again, the whole day trading is the easiest thing to sell to people because it acts on their uh, instant gratification, which every human has uh, ingrained in them to some extent. So, day trading is like, oh, I could do it right now. I could, one candle, 30 grand, make 2 grand, make a grand, $1,500, and then just show a $1,500 gain. And or that shit wouldn't really apply to the majority of the people out there, and they know that, but they don't care. So again, how long do I swing? um Overnight, typically. I swing into, I think I think of it as like a hybrid, because I'm swinging into what I see as potential day trades. It helps me skip the entry part, and a lot of the times, because 80 to 90% of the market movement is overnight, which is again something that day traders don't like to talk about. Um, but yeah, some of my swings go, pretty fucking crazy. Thanks for the gifts, ALG. Appreciate that, dude. Do you get contracts 2 to 3 days? How long? Depends on the setup, Cabron. It really does. If it's a weekly setup, and like something like Lyft, right? That I can identify on the hourly. I would take an hourly setup, right? I would take this pocket of empty space and I would trade that with shorter expiration contracts. However, if I decided that I wanted to take it up here, right? Which on the 24-hour would be that previous top. Damn, did I just come up with a play? Look at that. Accidentally. But if I was aiming up here, because I have resistances to go through, that's where I would have to add time. So it really, once you're able to identify what a good play is or what you're looking for, then the next challenge is applying which contracts or expirations fit that setup. Um, and the higher the time frame the setup is on, right? So if I was looking at Lyft and I wanted Lyft all the way to $32, and I wanted to take it, somewhere in this empty space before it breaks 23, because of how wide this empty space is. This is something that you would look maybe 2 months or a month and a half, or possibly even longer. Um, So every single setup is going to have a different lower time frame is pretty much going to be shorter expiration. Higher time frame is going to be longer, but what you're looking at on that setup is obviously going to dictate what you end up taking. I mean, there's some setups that people take going out 6 months because there's so much empty space in between structure or in between volume that's in between you. So, all right, SoFi up. Wow, on the weekly you are in hell. That should be an exciting trade regardless of direction. And I will say am a little heavier on this one. Like, this one to me seems more bearish. And again, it's in a box, but it does seem more bearish given every opportunity that it's had to buy and rip. It has failed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row. Well, not in a row, but 7 weeks out of this area of consolidation since September, you've had more rejections off at the top. That box is built here. So when you look, and I mean, the green candles sit, so look at the green candles. The green candles sit right on that. So I might actually be off here. Dude, all right. Move. Dude, move. You can't do that, bro. Those are wires. You're going to electrocute your. No. Don't talk back to me, bro. Ridiculous. Chewing on fucking wires. Bro's going to fucking mummify himself. 6, 7. All right. So anyway, SoFi. Ooh, so here, now that we have that set up, right, and we've identified that, we can now move down into a lower time frame to spot where could that happen, right? Or how does that happen, more or less. Now I see a channel immediately pops out to me, right? That's there. I see a box up above you with empty space leading towards it, and that's there. I see a box in between you and that's here. And that's the cost basis that you just hit in this 4-hour candle. So if that fails, what do you have underneath you? You have that floor. That would be the next target down and a possible bounce area. If that fails, could be looking at either A, a new low, or B, a return back down to 25. How many glasses of coffee a day till the heart hurts?
The guy WBM's punching down on the 5 here.
Be really nice if we could catch that 250, 251.
I guess it's not a box, more of a range, but still just dropping.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I'd call that a box on the 3-minute punch down.
Gambling on some 250 250s, but 252 a 252.92 if you do break the low. Let's see. So yeah, you're hitting the low right now. It's one single wave up there. It's kind of a box. It's discounted on Lyft because it's not going anywhere. Theta has eaten the contract. Thank you guys for tapping your screen if you're on TikTok. When to buy AVGO? I mean, not in the middle of a fucking red candle. It'll let you know. I mean, I would say you're looking for a bounce at 350 right now. Target looks good. Yeah, Target does look good. It does have empty space, so don't be surprised if we see a retest. But instead of really pulling back, we're closing relatively green. Got empty space directly up above us. So yeah, if you're in equity on that one, still looking good. IWM, you could look at if this one doesn't go back up and breaks back over 253.90, you could be looking back up to 254.33. Just watch. The how do I feel about it? Feel bad, real bad. On the 24-hour, you obviously failed your punchback, and that's pretty big. Upon failing it, you've lost your floor, which is also relatively big. You're moving into this lower time frame box. And this previous rejection, which is at 36. So 3660 would be where you could look for a reversal now, but that obviously you've already seen a bounce, so it might be further down towards that 34 area. Now look at Target on the weekly. It looks great. Again, 120. It looks great. So far, so good. Target has gotten the ever living shit kicked out of them, and I can't say they don't deserve it, but it looks pretty good. Solid green candle close, getting into the structure up above, 3 bottom bounces. I mean, I've got a fat sack of equity right now, and I'm looking for the 120s. Looking for the 120s. What else do we got? Celsius. That one looks good, but it is building. So patience is definitely key here. Ooh, wait, hold on. Damn. It looks like somebody shook that shit up. It looks like, oh, damn, IWM. Refusing the floor? Gross. See what we get. Kind of cool if we hit this 252.91 before the end of day. Pretty cool. Everybody's doing it. All your friends are doing it. Nah, I think you just left a gap right there. You're going to build a box. I think that's a gap right here. And just price just gapped down. So probably going to go green. Unless am I tripping? No, that's a price gap. So either we wick it. Price has to fucking dump. There's the wick. Right back up. Anyway, I can't lie to you. I mean, Celsius does look pretty good. I mean, the consolidation's looking pretty good. The 4 hours tight, 2 hours set up in the same way. Stop losses could be aligned with 43.33. But other than that, I mean, you're literally waiting for a break out. I mean, right now, I would just say outside of 44.40 to try to go for that empty space up above. What the hell? No, I mean I'm sizing down going into the holidays, into the end of December. You know, anything that I'm not is not moving in the direction that I want, that I have time on. Probably going to look at whether or not I want to keep holding it. Obviously, you know, equity, if it's still solid, is still on the watch list. All right, come on, IWM, give me a Christmas miracle, cheap bastard. No Christmas miracles today, kids. Oh yeah, but they typically don't give those moves at the end of the day. Once in a blue moon. Yep, there's that gap up there. Then over 253.75, 253.80. Stop it. Use grinder. It's for people on the trading grind. Yeah. Are you swinging longs on IWM? I don't think so. I don't know yet, but I don't think so. I feel more, I mean, no, I'm not with that 24-hour candle. I mean, with the empty space above, yes, but this floor is supposed to have already responded and it's not. So maybe when it gets here or in here, we can look at a reversal to fill up the obvious empty space. But no, I don't think I'm going to swing long. You know, that, and I'm trying to, you know, I get it still sometimes too, where it's like you kind of just want to take something because volatility's been high, but it's like you got to remind yourself, what are you actually looking at and why? You know, what has been recovered. And I'm all for, if it holds this floor, you could spec 100%. If by the end of the day, if this thing holds the floor and maybe starts breaking over 254.50, you could speculate. But as of right now, I hit my biggest percentage gain on gold this morning because of your system. That's amazing, man. Good, congratulations. Seriously, it's a cool feeling. These are the type of percentages people like fucking salivate over. I made a video on it today. If anybody has time to go and watch the TikTok I made, I'm thinking about starting a new TikTok where I won't say anything bad. I'll try. Dow. You got pretty close to a retest here, but 483 is still a potential. I think that's the most likely retest area. $343. Market looks heavy, dude. Oh my god, look at ES. Fuck. Damn, that makes me want to swing short right into there. Oh my God. And that would be right into here. Come on, IWM, you're not gonna do it, you little shit. This right here, if we fail to make a new low, that could be quad witching chop right in there. All right, anything else? Bearish engulfing on a day. Yeah. Yeah, definitely IWM. Again, it's trying to save face a little bit on the 24-hour. But you'd have to retrace all the way to like 255. I don't know. I think if you take something, make sure you're not taking something because you're fearful of missing a big move, right? Me personally, you look back up above us, like it's really no question where we go up. And that's 255.50. And yes, my preference, I think the bigger play would be back down, and maybe we gap down, but that would be back down and then up. SOXL. Spy's trying to flip too. Wow, big red. I don't really have much to go off. That's period, end of story. You really just don't. And then what is that? 40.50? That looks like a pretty key level. You saw a retest today. That retest didn't really do much of anything. I would be looking at 40, 20. So nothing over the weekend. I mean, I might speculate on some things, but what are you gonna do? Put a girl on. Put a girl. Yo, Lulu. Ugh. Ugh. Lulu. Might have to stretch that one down if it gives me the opportunity. Starbucks. No. Man, a lot of stuff looks pretty heavy right now. Marlene. Ugh. Is this prep for Japan height rake? I mean, maybe. If it happens and price follows, then that's what they'll use as a headline. But it's hard to be long in the same breath, right? Because again, when you hit support, you want to bounce, you want to recover something. And yes, the end of the day here, we're seeing like that right there is going to be tough to reverse on. So, if you want to speculate, if you have the dough to do it, 687, 685, two targets to the upside. And then, if you're hedging, you could look at a 677, or just go for it down to 675.75 or 675.50. Literally, one of those two. So I mean, if you want to straddle or something, can't help yourself, I guess knock yourself out there. I think IWM might be a better option, but so let's look at this again. So looking at it here, you know, when you get these big wicks back up, a lot of the times we end up gapping up, right? Close, gap up. So I think the important thing is you haven't lost anything. So, you know, I personally would again rather see a bounce in here, but you could end up with just another green candle inside of there. WB. I mean, it's planning to get bought out 34.78. Still the target I had with the upside. All right, 10 minutes. Make sure you identify whether you just have an insatiable need to buy something because you have buying power or you feel really good about your play. Also, I asked again today and nobody answered, which was a little disappointing. I asked if anybody had a trade tracking journal. For those of you who are struggling, I'm talking to you. Do you have a trade tracking journal? If you do not, I damn near want to make it a requirement. So that way I can look at it. But straight up, you got to see it. You got to see it. You're going to spend hours looking at your track record, and you're going to fucking have a lot of epiphanies. So, you know, there's free ones like Stonk Journal, there's TradeZilla, Trader View, or whatever it's called. A quick, oh, shut up. Hardly anybody. I'm sorry. But something. So that way you can reflect on your trades. I'm telling you guys. I keep saying it, but you know, again, the reason why I want you guys to do it is not just for your own benefit, but also if you're struggling, you can send me those. You can some of them will even allow for you to add me as a mentor or add me as like an observer, so I can actually see your fucking trades. And listen, I've done that before, and I've watched people that I was like mentoring take trades, you know, or like afterwards they'd be like, yeah, I didn't have a good day. I would go and look at what they did, and it was like, you know, you were I don't even need them to tell me what they were doing. I don't even like what they were thinking. I could see it. You could see it on the chart. They got in, it wicked them. You know, they were short, it wicked up, and then reversed. So then they got back in, and then it didn't lose anything, and then it chopped, and then they got out, and then it broke, and then they chased. It's like, oh my god, it becomes incredibly obvious. So just again, a reminder. I'm going to keep reminding you.
I started one last week on an Excel file.
Okay. Yeah, you could I'm listen, at this point with technology, you could have AI, and I know some of you guys are like fucking over AI, I get it. But you know, for those of you guys who aren't opposed, you could literally tell ChatGPT what you want it to make. It could make you your own personal like website. You know, I think at this point now the thing is capable of building you a launchable website. Um, Even showing you what that would look like, the coding behind it. So I mean, like you could, if some of you are really good with ChatGPT, you could make your own personalized one. Fucking start a business. Who knows? Never mind. Now I'm gonna do it. Magic Tracker. What, I gotta talk about your trading? Like, I'm sorry, man. Probably Stonk Journal. I was taking the most tarded trades ever after looking at my journal. That is that's a common realization. You realize how much it's you, right? And some of you guys already know that. but it's, I mean, that's usually you're standing in your own way. And sometimes it takes looking in the mirror, which that I think is a mirror of your own actions and behaviors. That the shitty thing about not having one is you can make a bad choice. Nobody saw you do it. Nobody's going to see you use the last $100 in your account just because you're desperate. And so you get to just get away with it. You know what I mean? And even you are able to like put it behind you and forget about it. Like, oh, I'll just make it back up, and it becomes this mental trap. So Tesla just flipped green. That might be a better sign. Yeah, thank you guys for the comments and on the new video, the likes. Appreciate that. Oh my God, that was loud. That's a good candle on Tesla.
Are you staying on after the bell for a little bit?
Probably not. I'm gonna go try to hang out with my kids. I haven't gotten to hang out with them a ton this week, so
That's cool. No, I was gonna tell on myself, but you're live on TikTok, right?
yeah.
Yeah, another time.
Okay. Uh-oh. CMG, what is it doing? We got 5 minutes here. Hedging or whatever it is that you're doing. Make your decision. 36 got hit today. That is pretty impressive. Or it's 36. So I'm going to kind of use it since I don't really have anything to go off of. I'm going to use the old box. Since you punch through it. So 36.60 and 37.50. Looks like you're doing pretty good though. So your pullback level will be around 35.71. You can on TradeZella. Yeah, so TradeZilla, they do have mentor mode, so that way I could actually look at your trades. And if you give me access, I could to swing or not to swing. I mean, me personally, that thing is fucking a night. I mean, if you have a good stop loss, why not? You're looking at 173, maybe 169.50. I feel like my journal didn't help me as much as taking a break to reflect. Dude, taking a break and having a journal, I don't think they're exclusive. I truly think that, I mean, we don't even talk about that enough. It's kind of funny because, I do it anyway. Like, you guys will see me go on a run, and then like the next couple of weeks, I'm spotty. I'm like, because I'm like doing shit, like I know that I caught a wave, I surfed it, and now I'm waiting for those same unique opportunities. So like, or sometimes things just so much has happened, it's like emotional exhaustion. Dude, taking a break, underrated. Like stepping away is, I mean, shit, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't taken my hiatus and reflected on what I had done, the things that I had decided to let get in front of me. So, but yeah, I'm just, again, some of you guys have plateaued at a level that's not profitable, and you need to take that next step forward. So you might not want to, but I'm just, been around for 2 years. Every time I come back, I am much better. That's how it works, man. All that information, I mean, you got a lot of information flying at you. So it's nice to reflect, calm down, not hear all the voices. And when I say take a break, you can't be thinking about trading the whole time. You know what I mean? Like you really do got to like put your phone down, go do some other shit. Like keep yourself busy. You need to actually have something to do, or you're just gonna probably end up looking at it anyway. No stop loss on that, Francis. I'm hoping Amazon, and I will tell you this, man, there's so many things that make me a little nervous here. Fuck, man. Yeah, you might consider hedging that if you're stuck at something. Yeah, you could have a trip down to 221.71. How do I regulate my ego? I remember that I'm a piece of shit. No, I don't know. I've always had this mentality, like, nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? Money is not a testament to who you are or anything like that. I feel like you have a time to celebrate, be happy for what you've done, be proud of yourself for what you've accomplished. But like the ego, again, I think typically only inflates when there's viewers, when there's somebody to see you, or somebody to show something to. That helps with the inflation. So to me, it's just not, I don't know. I don't know. It dies off. If I'm being honest with you, like after like a huge day, like by the end of the night, I've kind of, who do I go and yeah, like who do I go and talk to about that shit? Besides you guys, which we talk about it when it happens and we celebrate when it happens. Who can I go out who is just living regular life, regular job, and be like, yeah, bro, I got like 30 racks today. You know what I mean? Like that's not, it's kind of a shitty thing to do. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping balls, but like, unless it's somebody who's like interested in it and you're like trying to persuade, like, hey, yo, dude, look at it. I fucking huge day. And you show them that and they're like, all right, man, maybe I do need to give this a shot. But yeah, you really just can't talk to people about it. I don't talk to my grandparents about what I make. I don't talk to fucking anybody about what I make. I was just talking to a housing guy, and he was asking me questions, and I was like, I don't even want to tell you what I make. You know what I mean? Like, and I have told people what I've made or what I'm making and how much money, like how my life has changed and stuff like that. And you know what happened? They're not my friends anymore. So
I don't think
this,
I have any real life trading friends because it's not something I can talk to people. Like I wouldn't know how I would talk to you in real life. Because like we won't be friends by then if that's the case. I feel like
The
that's
people
what it
who
would come down
don't
to. I can't
trade
talk. Yeah.
that you try and talk to about trading, it's just like, oh, they just think it's gambling.
that's always
Yeah, exactly.
I've gotten that so many times. I've in person. I had this old man say this to me at the post office, and he's like, "You're a gambler," and I was like, "No." I was looking at the charts on my phone, and that was his first response. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is shitty because like, dude, I'm probably gonna go to this Christmas tree lighting thing on the island today with Ellie's friend's parents, and I went over there once, and it's like everything got weird after I said what I did. And then like eventually one of them warmed up enough to me to ask me like, well, like, is it working? And I'm like, well, yeah. And like I dive into more detail and it feels weird. It does not feel like you would think when you're a kid or when you're younger, like do a fucking money spread, but go do a money spread in front of your broke friends. One of them's gonna fucking rob you.
Call yourself like investment strategic or like financial analyst, like
I
something
just say an
fancy
analyst.
for that.
I just say a market analyst.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people now. That's like, I'm a market analyst. That's all. I just analyze the market. They're like, for who? I'm like, for me.
Which is me.
Have you ever been recognized in public?
Twice. 2 times. And then I've been, where I've been recognized the most?
Yeah, because I'm thinking it'd be really awkward if you were recognized in public by like one of your kids' parents or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
You're like, oh, you're the guy that talks shit.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm waiting for the day because, dude, I swear to God, one day I was at the farmer's market and I saw like a posse of like 19, 20-year-old dudes, and you could tell they were, they had the Q-tip haircuts, they had the, fades and all that shit. And to me, when I looked at them, I was like, they look like trading gurus. You know what I mean? Like they look like they like sell some shit. Nothing was said or no interaction was had, but like, I thought to myself, I was like, dude, if that type of individual approached me, I would assume, and they knew me, I would assume that they knew me from talking shit. But funny enough, yes, one of them that it was a Uber driver that recognized me. I needed a ride from the airport, and she kept looking at her rear view mirror at me, and she's like, "You look familiar." And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, I don't know. I've lived here for a while. And she asked me if I was like online. She's like, "Are you like do you do anything online?" And I was like, "Yeah, I trade live on TikTok and stuff." She's like, "I've definitely seen you on my For You page." And that was it. That was like really the end. She did not. Basically, what she told me, yeah, well, like immediately she just told me that she scrolled past my shit. So I was like, okay, but yeah, I mean, I don't.
Potter.
Yeah,
Do not ever tell nobody what you make. Never.
yeah, I don't. I made that. I made that decision.
Hey, Butter, how much do you make?
I make money,
Yeah,
lots of it.
You can tell us, man.
Couple-
You don't have to tell everybody else. But you can
$10.
tell
Always
us.
low ball.
I make
Low ball, always.
$10 an hour. That's what I make.
There you go. There you go.
He's a chef.
Yeah, man, I'm minimum wage over here, motherfucker. An hour, $10 a second? No, just kidding. I wonder if I
You're gonna
calculated
need-
that per day.
You keep telling them you're going to need the one eye thing. You know that get the jinx off.
No, I had a wise older gentleman tell me. He said, if you want to make sure that you stay successful, he's like, keep that shit to yourself. He's like, no, what nobody.
Now you got
He's
you
like,
guys. I'm just
nobody. Yeah, well, yeah. He was like, nobody needs to know. He's like, it'll change things and not the way that you were hoping for. Because it's so crazy, man. When I was younger, probably like a lot of you younger, like, man, that's what I thought was like the ticket. You know what I mean? Like stacks of cash. Then I'm gonna have lots of friends. Nah, you're gonna have lots of people wanting your cash. You know what I mean? But if you don't tell anybody, you lay low, stay incognito, like might be able to live a regular ass life, which I will say has been the benefit of me talking shit online. Is like I'm not widely recognized. But I was gonna say I got recognized multiple times on Fortnite. Multiple times. Random lobbies. Someone would be like, "Are you that guy from TikTok?" Like, what? It's like, yeah, dude. Yeah, Meat Bart, you already know. I couldn't believe it. Dude, actually the kids are back on. I might have to hop on there one day soon. I played the other day and got into it. Battlefield's got me hooked though. Yo. All right, Meat Barn. That was fucking weird, bro. That I was just about to say that. Dude, you gotta start charging. I was thinking it, dude. I was dead ass. Dude, I told you to log out last time I let you in me. Yo.